To your top. To your top. To your top. Bouncing, baby. Bouncing, baby.
Hey everyone, it's Tia, and welcome back to Tia Talks, bringing you Black and Brown people to the forefront to share their stories. And today we're here with Rico Cassadine.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm so excited.
I know, I'm so excited to have you here. So how you feeling?
I'm like overwhelmed. Like this is my fifth or sixth time in New York, but this is my first time actually like doing things by myself and going by myself.
Right.
So this is so new and fun for me.
So have you gotten lost yet?
Yes.
Oh,
Really lost. I'm talking about, I was going in a circle. It was so funny. And then I just, when I broke down and called somebody, it was like, I was like on 49th Street or something. I was in Times Square somewhere lost.
okay.
And then he was like, no, you need to come back down to like 36 and then make a right. I'm like, look, I'm too big for all this walking. This is a lie. I'm so used to just jumping in my car and driving where I want to go.
Right.
So this is new. This is fun.
Right. So you're originally from Atlanta.
Yes, born and raised. Ain't never had to really ride no subway in my life.
Yeah, so how are you enjoying the subway?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I have seen some very interesting people. Now I believe all the stories about the subway because I have seen some very interesting people.
So has anyone come up to you like trying to talk to you or like say crazy shit to you?
Like I was just on the way here actually that happened. I was sitting across from this guy and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not gonna look over. I don't know how the etiquette of the train is. You don't look at the people, you just stare.
No.
So I just kept just looking all around him. And then he was like, Caw-caw! I was like, alrighty, what's my stop? I got to go.
Oh my God.
So it's been fun. It's so much fun.
And then you had a performance the other night at OTA.
Yes, OTA. Oh my God. I love OTA. Like, okay, so I've performed there once before, like when I first started working with Pink Gorilla, and then this is like my second time coming up here after being, working for a minute and get my music out. So for me to be on that stage and the energy, there's nothing like that energy.
Right.
I've never, even like I performed all over Atlanta, but the energy I got that night was like something I've never experienced before.
And even just like being in the crowd watching you, like you seem so comfortable.
Yes. It was just like feeding off, like, I don't know, like the vibe, the moment, the just whatever it was, it just made me feel like I was like at home. And like this was like somewhere I felt very, very comfortable to just be myself and just have fun on stage.
I love that. I'm so happy for you. Like the crowd was definitely giving.
Yes. And I've heard about the OTA crowd. Like I heard it is very hard to please them. Like they'll stand there and just be like, who is this? What's next? Can we get to them all?
Gave.
And I baby, when I tell you when I heard those people chanting my music back to me, I've experienced something like that before, but I've never experienced like the whole club singing my song with me.
Right. And so the song that you performed was what?
Oh Lord.
Oh, okay.
That's coming. That's on my upcoming project, Young King. It drops in April, May-ish. So that's one of the tracks on there. I also have another song that's on pre-order now on iTunes, Can't Get Right, which is the second single off my upcoming project.
Okay. That's so exciting. I want to tap into the song Ooh Lord a little bit because so I just want to know like why did you decide to like start the song with like a hook?
Because, okay, I'm from Atlanta and I love Florida. Like, Florida is like my favorite when it comes to music. Trick Daddy, Trina, Uncle Luke, all them. Like, that vibe was something that I wanted because that's something I grew up on. I call it Freaknik music. In Atlanta, in the 1990s, they had an event called Freaknik where they just literally just play all kinds of like dance music and people would be all in the streets dancing and just twerking and it was like the culture. Like they had the big hair with the cornrows and the long nails and girls was wearing short shorts jumping on cars. So I wanted that song to have that vibe. And I wanted it to be a song where you couldn't help but dance. Like, you can't just stand there and not do nothing when you hear the song.
Right. It is definitely like a club, like twerking song. So, you know, if you haven't heard it yet, go check it out.
Yes, please do. On all streaming platforms.
Yes. So tell me about the new song. What's that about?
Okay, so Can't Get Right. Since being in this industry, I've seen a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I see as a common factor is a lot of people are fake. Okay. And phony. And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, I'm so real. Like, I just try to be as real as possible to everyone because I just believe that, you know, people can see through all the fake stuff. Right. So in the song, it's basically saying, you know, I know you're false. I know y'all fake. And y'all try to do what I do and you can't do it. Mm-hmm. You can't make another me. Okay. And it's like I hear people trying to, you know, downplay me or play my sound or what I do because it's not the typical sound or the typical thing. Mm-hmm. So that song is my fuck you. Okay. So what do you think like your sound is? Like what genre do you feel like are you trying to create something? Like I love my favorite rappers were like Ludacris, Yin Yang Twins, Mystical, DMX, that kind of music where you hear it, you feel something. Okay. Like I want every song that I have to make someone have an emotion. Whether it's you want to fight somebody or you want to dance mm-hmm. or that man that broke your heart, you want to just go slit his tire, something like right. that. So I want my music to be like that music. Like when you put on a DMX song, you feel DMX's voice. Right. When you listen to Luda, you can hear the comedic timing and the funness in his songs. But his lyrics are like talking about something. Right. Missy Elliott, one of my biggest influences. She's just out of this world with everything she does. And she doesn't put herself in a box. So that's the sound that I try to give. I don't want to be the common rapper. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do what's popular now. I want to make music that's a vibe, like a real vibe. Okay. So how have you been able to like, I guess like be comfortable like in your voice? Like when you're in the studio, you do have like a unique voice. Mm-hmm. So I guess like what's that conversation you have with like the engineer and stuff like? Shout out to Jerry. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jerry. Just Jerry on Instagram. Please follow him. He is what I call a wizard in the studio. I remember my first time going to Jerry. I was like just trying to get it out. Like I didn't understand my voice. I didn't understand what I was doing. Right. It was my first time being in the studio, so it was like a lot going on. And by like my third session, I was listening to like an old Nicki song. I can't remember what it was, but whatever Nicki song it was, she was like, you know, mixtape Nicki used to yell and play like different characters on the track. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, let me just yell and see how it sounds when I rap. So I just started yelling. He was like, oh, snap, you sound like Mystical. Oh. So then I started listening to some of Mystical's music, and I was like, wait, I can get this vibe and this flow. So it all... He helped guide me to the type of artist that made the kind of music that he saw me going in that lane. Okay. So I started like really listening and studying to those people and listening to inflections and learning how to use my voice as a tool, because rappers' voices are also just like a singer's voice. The inflections, the tone, the delivery, it's the same as being a singer. You have to learn how to play with your voice. And that was his biggest advice to me, is to learn to play with your voice. And I just, every time I go in a booth, I just try something new. Right. So you had to learn how to play with your voice. I also saw that you are big on like freestyles too. Yes. So tell me about that. Like, how have you been able to transform in like your artistry from like freestyle to like an actual like setup of a song? That was actually something that took a while for me to learn. That's the funny thing, because I in high school, I was openly gay. Mm-hmm. And I was on the football team. I did all that good stuff. And it was so funny because there was a group at lunchtime. We had like a little outdoor patio that we could sit down in. And they would just be like banging on, just rapping, just banging on the table. So I was like, nigga, let me come over here and try this. I can do this. So I went over there and I just started. And I was like, And I always remember in 8 Mile, Eminem said, if I say it before you say it, you can't use it against me.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that the whole gay thing was coming up. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and get it out there. I was like, what did I say? I said something along the lines of, I'm the gayest nigga out, but I'm killing you hoes. I mean, I'm strapped up, nigga. I be killing you bros. You can't touch me. I mean, not even with 10 inches. And you know you see this ass, so you know you want to get in it. I was like, it was something along that line. And then they was like,
he got it.
right, because they was like, they couldn't say nothing bad.
Right.
And I was like, well, I mean, it is what it is.
So it all started in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you did say you played a sport?
Yes.
You said football. What position did you
I was an offensive guard. I was the center.
Were you good?
Yes, actually, that was
you
the
athletic
game.
too?
Yes, I was. I actually played with Cam Newton.
You didn't.
Yes, I was his center for all 4 years of high school.
Oh my god!
So if y'all go back and look at his highlight tapes,
you in there?
I am the center, number 70, that you see that they running I was the smallest center in South Fulton.
Okay.
I was the smallest center. I was like 200 at the time. And at the time, most of the guys that played on the offensive line started at 250, 240, 250, 260. Mm-hmm. So I was like the smallest center in South Fulton, which is the district that I lived in. Right. And my coach was like, okay, so you don't want to gain weight? We gonna run your ass. So I would always, if you see it, Westlake's key thing was to pull the center to go block outside because of the fact that I had speed and I was the smallest thing and I had power.
Oh my, this is so cool.
Yes, I was a football player.
Okay, so let's talk a little sports. So what have you applied from like football growing up in athletics to your life now?
Oh my God, the one reason why I didn't want to play football. Oh, okay. I didn't. I actually was like an artsy kind of person, but my mom made me play. Right. But the one thing it taught me was to not give up. I was determined to not give up because I never liked anybody telling me something I can't do. And I think my mom knew that, so she would always say little smart things to make me go, oh, look, okay, I'll show you. And I would go out there and I would, do my thing. And in life, even like in my prior career before rapping, I always never gave up because I just knew. I knew I could do it. Like, that's my biggest thing. I know I can do it, and I'm going to prove it.
Right. So you also are an actor.
Yes.
So give me some. What have you been in? Like,
oh my God. I worked in Star. I was an extra on Star. I
love Star.
That was my show.
Me too. I was so sad when they canceled it.
If you go back, I think it's season 2 when Queen Latifah was sitting in the church and when she did her little church gospel song. I was sitting in the audience.
You?
Yes, I'm in there.
Oh my God.
Check me out. I did a couple of little extra things for like BET movies. Okay. But I'm very big on the YouTube scene, the YouTube circuit.
Like series.
Yes. Okay. The Mister on ACTV was my like breakout role. And the character Jesse is like a hit. Like he's me. Right. But he's a little more extra than me. So it was fun playing that character. Shout out to Wes. Please go download the Watch ACTV app. It's great content. He's writer, director, and producer of his own network. And he's trying to be like the black Netflix, basically. Oh, his motto is, I could see me in ACTV. Okay. So he tries to hire nothing but black and brown actors and actresses to tell our stories in, a new vision.
Okay. So how did you get into acting?
I actually started out in radio.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I started out in radio, and we had a guest come on that we interviewed who was the casting director for ACTV. And I followed her on Instagram and I saw the audition for the Mister. And I was like, I was on downtime and I hadn't started rapping yet because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do radio and this is gonna be my thing. And then I was like, well, this is seasonal. So hold on, let's find something else. So I tried out for the role. I didn't get it at first. He passed on me. But then he couldn't find another person to cast in a role, so he had an open call again. And That's when I got it. I did an in-person audition with him, and he was like, "Oh," and I didn't know if it was a good O or a bad no, but he was like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay, did I?" I'm like, "Oh my God, did I do good?" He was like, "Okay, okay, okay." He said that for like a couple of songs. I was like, "Okay, nigga, what? Okay, what?" He was like, "I loved it. I loved everything. It matches perfectly." And then that's when I found out that he was playing the lead character.
Oh.
So he was like, "I loved our energy because I just went in there and I just, did me." So that's how I got into it. It was just, I just wanted to do something new to fill time. That's how rapping happened.
Okay. What about reality TV?
Okay, I love me some reality TV.
Okay.
And I've always said, I think I would be funny if I was on a show. Because I always say the stuff that we think when we're watching it, and you be watching them in confessions like, well, girl, wait, that ain't how that happened. Now, you said this and this and this,
right.
And that led to this. How you gonna sit here and play the victim? And you started it. Let's say I couldn't be on one of these shows because I'd be telling too much of the truth. Fast forward, here I am. And I'm on the show. And I'm like, in my confessionals. Now, y'all know this some bullshit. I know I said it clear as day. So why can't they understand it? So that's how that happened.
Okay.
I met Nunu up here. I started off on the Circle Atlanta, which is a spinoff from the Circle New York.
Okay.
I met Nunu up here at a card party, and that's how I got the information for that. And I auditioned, and at first I didn't get casted, but actually they did cast me, but they wanted me as a friend of the show, and I was like,
no.
I'll pass on that. I think I could bring a little bit more than just a friend of the show. So then they started filming, and they were at an event, and their cast got a little rowdy at the event that I was at. And I wasn't cool with that. Because I'm like, I understand what y'all doing, but you're being rude to us. So some things transpired. And then next thing you know, I got a phone call asking to come film.
Wow.
Then I moved on to Web Life. We're going to skip that because, girl,
it was a lot.
A lot. And then for it not to come out really hurt.
Oh, it didn't come out.
But then we're going to go to Chasing.
Okay.
Chasing Atlanta, which is like the #1 LGBT web series. I tried out for them. This was my second time. Okay. The first time was when I actually just started making music and I just started acting. And I was like so nervous. I went in there like an interview. I was like, "Hi, my name is Rico Cassadine. I'm a rapper, actor, model." And I could tell they wasn't feeling it. But at the end of the interview, I told them, I said, "Well, I know this probably didn't go well. But if you give me a chance, and if I'm able to come back next year and have the chance to sit in front of you again, I promise you I'll have everything I need to be a cast member." Fast forward to this year. I sat in front of them. I was like, "Ha ha! Told you, I'm back."
Wow. So tell me about that role on the show. Like, what do you do on that show? Or I've never even seen the show. So
okay.
Tell me about it.
So you got to tune in. Chasing Atlanta drops March 23rd, 8 p.m. on Chasing Reality. It's a show that follows movers and shakers in the ATL industry that are LGBT. You have rappers, models, hairstylists, people that make clothes. You have people that host events. We have a pet groomer on the show. Wow. It's like if you're LGBT and you're a mover and you're doing something in the community, that's the show that you want to be on. Okay. And on there, you see me working on my upcoming project. You see me I film my music videos. You see me in the studio working with some of the cast members that are musicians. And we have songs that we have on there. I mean, we have drama and stuff like that. But it shows, I feel like this season compared to any other season is going to show us working, and it's going to show the human side of us. Right. Because a lot of us were dealing with a lot of stuff while filming this show, and we all tried to like help each other work out. Because I lost my grandmother 2 weeks before we started shooting. Mm-hmm. So I was dealing with death at the beginning of filming. So it was a lot going on. And another cast member lost her grandmother while filming. And we had another cast member whose grandmother had a stroke during filming. So we were all like going through something at one time and trying to still work at the same time. So it's going to be a good season. So check out Chasing Atlanta. It drops March 23rd, the same day as my single.
Yes.
On Chasing Reality TV on YouTube.
Yes, I love that. So what advice can you give to people that are also going through it, like you said, that have lost somebody and they're still trying to pursue their goals? Like, what can you, I guess, like a word of advice can you give?
Take a moment. Take a moment. When I lost my grandmother, I disconnected from a lot of people because I literally was there when she passed. My grandmother had Alzheimer's, and my mom had moved her from her home and brought her to live with my mom. She brought her up here with her and my dad. And I was living in Clayton County, which is like 30 minutes away from Fulton, East Point, College Park. I sold my house and I moved back in with my mom to help take care of my grandmother. Because my mom is in her 60s, my dad is in her 60s, my grandma was 92. My sister she moved 2 houses down from my mom. So she had her family, so she was trying to help as much. Dealing with parents at their age when they're going through that was a lot. And to actually be in the house when my grandmother passed and had to help my dad lift her up and sit her out and try to give her chest compressions and talking to 911 waiting for the ambulance, that was a lot. It was a lot. But it was something that I had to go through because one day I might need to do that for one of them. So it was a learning process. I had to learn what steps needed to happen, what things are going to happen, who we call, all that good stuff. And if there's any advice that I can give to anybody who's taking care of their parents or who, have elderly parents, make sure you have their information in a safe or a place where you can get to it, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot that you have to know, that you have to find out about them and have all their history and all their information. So I know this is a sad thing to do, but we need to sit down and talk to our parents about their wishes when they start getting up in age. But after that, I had to take a moment. I had to disconnect from a lot. I didn't talk to a lot. I didn't talk to anybody for a couple of days because I had to sit with myself and just recoup and just understand that what just happened is life. And you can never be prepared, but you have to understand it's a life cycle. And they're there for you at the beginning, and you have to be there for them at the end. And I just started self-reflecting, and I just started just writing. I do believe in journaling. So when I get to a point, because I used to suffer from depression, and journaling and putting down my feelings led to me writing poems, which led to songs, and it's my release. So a few of these songs are some on my upcoming project are some of the songs that I wrote during that time. And I felt like it was a need for me to put it out, because if I'm going through this, I know other people are. And my biggest thing is with my career, anything I do, I always want to be someone that can be a avenue for someone to see that it's okay. If this person can go through, you can make it. I don't know if people want to reach out and ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I always want to be someone that someone could reach out to, someone can talk to.
Well, it sound like you have a very warm spirit. So I also saw that you are also an activist.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the work that you've done.
I am an activist. I stand for body positivity. As a big boy, there are a lot of things that we go through or we deal with in this lifestyle, and I try to make it look easy. But I just want my people to understand that a body is just flesh, and it could be molded into anything we want. So judging someone on their shape or their size is just really ignorant.
So have you faced any obstacles?
Yes, a lot. I do feel like in this industry, sexualizing yourself really helps. You get what I'm saying? I'm competing against people that can take off their shirt and have 6-pack abs
Right.
and have like wear all the latest brands. Like I try my best to show that I am just as equal to them, and I don't have to take off my clothes.
Right.
I am an artist. My music, my fashion, my looks, those are the things that you don't get to see on us often. You don't see you. It's hard shopping in the plus size section because everything looks like a square. So I want people to know that it's okay to be yourself. I used to get teased about my size all the time. That used to be a big thing for me. That used to be a big thing. I didn't know I was handsome or I was cute. I used to always hear, "Oh, you're so cute for a big boy," or "You a little chubby, but if you lose 10 pounds, you'll be fine."
Right. So what message do you have for those people today?
Suck my dick. Suck it. Like, I'm still fine.
Yes.
I'm 200 and none of y'all business, but I'm still fine.
Okay.
And it's okay. And I dress just as good as them. I mean, it's the designer. How did he say it? You can get this. If you got the money for it, you can get designer in any size.
Right.
But I just really want to show that being plus size doesn't mean you have to diminish yourself for others. Like, love yourself. Own it. Enjoy your life. Don't sit around being depressed. That's the biggest thing I learned. I don't compare myself to the others because I'm not them. I'll never be them. That's not my thing. But I'm still a handsome young man that got a fat ass.
Okay.
That's it.
So tell me about like your aesthetic and your style. Like, what are you trying to give?
Oh my God. I love New York's fashion.
Okay.
Like, I love the fact that I could walk out my house dressed like this.
Yes.
And it's okay. And I might run across somebody on the train that is dressed even better. Like, I feel every time I come to New York, I just take away something else. Like, it's the city, it's the culture, it's the life, it's the lights. So my style and my aesthetic is country meets city. Like, that mix of a country bumpkin that just got dropped in New York, but loves labels or something of that extent. You know what I'm saying? I love the leather community. I'm big on the leather and bear community. I love them. I love the freeness and the overall aggression. I don't want to say aggression because it's not aggression, but the whole masculinity of the leather and just feeling like you're tough but yet soft at the same time. So you'll see me in a lot of leather, a lot of black.
Okay.
Black is one of my favorite colors. Black and blue. I just love like that city style mix. Okay. I love mixing just fashion. These are women pants. Oh. I mix genders. Okay. I have a lot of me and my mom share clothes. It's funny. Really? She has some nasty jackets. My mom, I love her jackets. Okay. That fur coat that I have on in my promo, that's my mom's fur.
Oh, wow.
That's her
Shout out
fur.
to Mom.
My mama got fashion, y'all. She got fashion sense. But I love mixing genders. I love just being free to express myself how I feel when I wake up. So you'll get something. I don't know what it might be, but you'll get something. So I call it country meets city. Okay.
So I love that you are enjoying your time in New York. So what's next for you? You plan on moving to New York? Like, what's going on?
I mean, it might happen. It could happen. Okay. I've been looking. I actually was planning on it for this year, but when my grandmother passed, it kind of shook some things up in the city, so I had to stay for a little longer, but who knows, I might pop up soon.
Yes. What borough do you think you want to settle in?
I'm going to Brooklyn.
Okay, yes.
The BK all day. I love it. Yes. It's just so much history there. And it's like, you know, for any rapper, I feel like if you're a real rapper, you come to New York and you just travel the history spots and you see where real hip hop began. You have to.
Have you been to Harlem yet?
We going tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna have so much fun.
We going tomorrow. That's my thing. Cause you know, shout out to Chad and Bugs,
Yeah.
my managers. They have really done a lot for me. So they want to show me. We're doing some photo shoots down there. So I'm excited for everything. So
Yes.
I'm in the hill.
Brooklyn and Harlem is the two places I'm there like the most.
Yes. So yeah, you'll see me around a lot more lately.
Okay, so tell me how you linked with the Pink Gorilla Entertainment.
That's actually a funny story. So I watched The Circle New York.
Okay.
When Bugs and Chad was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I found out about Bugs. And I started listening to Bugs music. So it was Pride in Atlanta. And I think Bugs said that was like his first Pride that he went to in Atlanta. And he was at Bulldogs. And I was with my best friend. I was like, is that Bugs Gutter? He was like, who? Bugs. You know Bugs from the show Bugs. He was like, that looks like him. So I went over and I was like, now Bugs tells the story a whole different way. Right. He says I fanned out. And that is not how that happened. Oh my God. I walked over. I was like, hey, what's up? Are you Bugs Gutter, by the way? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's what's up. I fucks with your music. I've seen you on the show. He was like, okay, that's what's up. I was like, well, you'll follow me on Instagram? He was like, yeah. So he followed me on Instagram. And while I was writing my project, I had a song called Bless, and it features Bugs and it features I Got Bars, which is another rapper that's dope as fuck. He signed to Trina's label. And I heard it and I reached out to him. I was like, I really would like to work with you. I really love your style and your flow, and I feel like I have a song that would really need, you know, the up north blessing. So I sent him Blessed, and he was like, now, he tells this differently, but this is out of his own mouth. Okay. He said he heard the song and he didn't know what he could do to it. Oh. He said it was that good. He was like, you had just came in so hard. And I was like, what I'm going to do? Because it took him 2 days to send it back. Okay. It took him 2 days. So when he sent it back, he was like, I did what I could do. I did my thing. So I listened to it and I immediately loved it. And he was like, all right, I'm glad you like it. So then, you know, he flew down here to record it. Mm-hmm. So we hung out that whole weekend. It was him and Tia. They flew down and we hung out the entire weekend. And we went to the studio and I had 3 other songs that I had to do, mm-hmm. and his song. And he literally sat there for my 2-hour session and watched me do 3 songs in his track in 2 hours. And he was like amazed. He was like, you really just finished 3 full songs in 2 hours. Wow. And that next day before they left, it was Tia and him. We were sitting at Bahama Bakeries eating. And I was like, I have a question. And he was like, well, I have a question. And I was like, so about Pink Gorilla, what would it take to, you know, probably get like a management deal or artist development deal with you? And he was like, it's so funny you say that, because me and Tia had just talked about it, and we were thinking about, you know, talking to you about maybe signing on to, you know, work with Pink Gorilla. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, we started talking, and from there on out, it was like we were texting every day. We were sending over music. My project was already finished, and I was getting ready to rap and put the finishing touches on it. And that's when he was like, well, you know, we'll help you with the rollout of this, and then we'll talk about from there. So after the rollout of Scorpion Sting, that's when we talked, and I linked up, and I became the Prince of Pink Gorilla.
Yes, the Prince of the South.
The Prince of the South. Period.
Yes.
Period.
So I want to know one more thing. Are you done with drag?
Yes.
Oh, you closed that door.
That book is completely done. Oh. I did that from the age of 19 all the way up until like 28 or 27. Okay. And it was a mixed time. It was fun. Yeah, I was going through a lot mentally because I didn't know who I was, or I didn't know where I fit in the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. So I just dove into that because that's what I, was around at the time. And that actually taught me a lot about not giving up and standing for what I want and getting what I want. And that's why I came up with the motto, if I can get the money, I'm going to pay for what I want because that's what I see and that's what I want. And that's another thing that I take into the rap game or the acting game. If I want it, I'm going to get it or I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I work 3 jobs to pay for acting classes and, going to a vocalist to work on my voice because screaming every night.
Yeah. Takes a toll on you.
A lot. So, yeah, no more drag.
Okay.
It was a fun yet sad time, but yeah, no.
But now you're here.
I'm here.
Yeah, so what do you want, like, the next few years for your career to be like?
I just want to keep growing. I just want to keep expressing myself. I want people to understand that I'm evolving in this industry. I'm learning. I'm trying new things. I'm testing the waters. I'm trying to find my place. I don't want to be the typical, this is what I do type rapper. I want to be an artist. Like, I want to be an overall triple threat. Actor, rapper, dancer, model. You know what I'm saying? I just want to express myself in my art. I see myself growing and I see people seeing different sides of me as I grow because that's my thing. As I evolve, I put it in my music and my art because I want people to evolve with me.
Well, I'm excited to see what you are going to give for the next few years. Yes!
Me too.
So what message do you want, or what is something that people don't know about you that you want to share?
I'm really shy.
What? I do not get that from you.
I am very, very shy. Like, I don't know if people think because I smoke a lot of weed. I'm like, y'all see me wiping my mouth because I have cotton mouth now. But when I'm at the club, I be sitting at the table, which I really be by myself because I be nervous and don't know what to say. And that's the one thing about me. People always say, but you're so thick. I understand what it gives, but what it's giving isn't what it gave. I am a very shy person.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that people really got me messed up on. Like, they really don't know that I'm very shy.
Yeah, that's super surprising. Well, that's what it is.
So if you see me out, don't think I'm being a bitch or anything. Just come talk to me because I'm 9 times out of 10 nervous and don't have nobody to talk to.
Yes. Well, I love that. I'm so thankful for you coming onto my show.
Thank you for having me.
We had a good conversation.
Yes, God.
I know you, and I can't wait to see you more on like the TV screen, on the stage. Okay.
We crossing fingers.
And you in New York.
Oh, baby, I'm in the building. I'm here. I'm trying to be the prince of... Never mind, I ain't gonna start that because y'all take that serious up here.
Serious.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that. I don't want no problems.
Be careful.
I don't want no smoke.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and Tia is out.
Bye.
This show hot like the pot been cooking. Come to Tia Talks if you out here pushing. A&R fans and brands stay looking. You know who to call when you ready for a booking. Shorty bad, watch the way she walk.